Here we go. Awesome. Okay, so hi everybody. Welcome to the September edition of Add-ons Show and Tell. Right now we're joined by Sylvain, Rob, Luca, Stuart, Will, Jorge, Shane, and Atik. We've got a great group. Thanks everybody for joining us today. So I want to encourage folks to sign up for the show and tell. Works in progress are totally welcome here. And I'd like to go ahead and turn this over to Atik to give us a demo of the extension activity monitor.
Thanks, Caitlin. I have been working on the extension activity monitor as a part of the Google Summer of Code 2020. I've been working on it for the last 3 months. So let me demonstrate it right now to all of you. Let me just share my screen. Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So the extension activity monitor is a privileged extension for Firefox, which actually uses the privileged API, that is activity log API, which actually monitors the activities of other installed extensions in my browser. So from the UI perspective, we have a browser action pop-up and an extension page, which actually shows us the logs. So let's start it with the browser action pop-up. So the browser action pop-up actually shows us if there is any extensions currently being monitored or not. So here we can see the headline: no extensions are being monitored currently. So then we have buttons for start monitoring all extensions or stop monitoring all extensions or view the activity log page. So let me just start monitoring all extensions. So I've installed a couple of extensions in my browser. So I will be showing you by testing with those extensions. So I have started monitoring all extensions. So it gives me a green sign that is extensions are being monitored. And when I can see the logs that are being captured from other installed extensions from the activity log page. So let me just show you the page, activity log page actually. So you can see a number of logs has already been collected from in the backend, and if this is the front end of the extension where we can see the logs, but the logs are actually being stored in the background page, which actually acts as the backend of the extension. And if we see from the top bar, so from the top left, we have the clear all logs button. So with this button, we can actually clear all the logs that has been collected in the background. Then in the middle, we have a couple of filter buttons. We have a couple of filter options with which we can actually filter the logs. So we have the keyword search option with which we can actually search the logs by keyword, putting any keyword. Then we have extension. We can actually filter the logs from extension IDs. So let me just generate some logs from another extension, which is probably Bistify. So we have two extension IDs right here. We can actually filter logs, selecting or deselecting any of the options that we have available here. So we have also the view types, API names, and timestamps. So the other filter options actually works similarly, like we have the checkboxes, but the timestamp filter actually works a little bit differently, which actually works with the context menu. So inside the table body. So if I press the context menu here and select start from this timestamp, this actually filters out from the logs from these timestamps, and it actually takes all the logs up to end. So we can also select the end timestamp for this end timestamp. So the log that comes after this timestamp will be hidden by default. So this is the filter by timestamps. And after that, we have the options icon, which actually gives us the ability to save all logs or load logs from our local machine. So I can save all the logs from clicking this button. So it actually saves all the current logs that are being collected by the extension activity monitor in a JSON file. So I also, let me just demonstrate you how we can actually load logs from our local machine. So if we see here, I have in my desktop, I have a activity logs.json file, which actually contains some of the logs that are that I saved a while ago. So let me just open that file. So it opened another tab with those loaded logs. So you can see these are the loaded logs. And another thing to note down here is if you notice the right bottom area, it says the loaded log with activity log.json, loaded log dash file name. So, and if I see the right bottom section of the activity log page that I was in before, it says real-time logs. So you can see the real-time logs are being collected here. So any logs that are being found in the real time, that will be available here, but those logs will not be available in the loaded log page. So it will only contain the logs that are found in the file. So in the left bottom side, we can see the number of logs that are being found. Uh, the number of logs, yeah, let me just show it from here. The the number of visible rows followed by the number of total collected logs here. So if I actually feature some of the logs, it says 6 out of 34 logs is being visible in the table. So this is a counter, actually, log counter. So another thing that extension activity monitor has is this we have the activity log page in the DevTools panel. So let me just demonstrate that to you. So if I go to DevTools panel, and we can see a button to get the panel extension activity. So here we can see there is a noticeable change, which is like filtered by tab ID 5. So what it does is it actually filters the log by this tab ID. So it means that the logs that we get in this tab will be available here. That uh, in other words, the logs that are being generated from this tab will be actually shown to you here. So these are the logs that are being found from this tab. So if I press some of the if I do some activity of any extension from this tab, actually these are showing from this DevTools. This can be shown from this DevTools panel. So we can see the total number of log is 127, but we are seeing only 7 logs. That's because these 7 logs are being generated from this tab. So another thing to notice here that we don't have the timestamp filter here. It's because the DevTools panel not yet support the context menu. So when that support, we can actually support the timestamp filters. So this is all about the minimal viable product that I was targeting to develop in the GSOC period, and this is what I have actually done. So yeah, this is all about. Also, sorry, I have I have actually forget to mention one thing, that we can actually this is the summary view of the logs that we are seeing here. But when we actually click on one of these logs, we can actually see all the log details in the sidebar. So yeah, you can see all the log details in the sidebar. So any information that might necessary to you, you can see that by clicking any of the rows. So this was my project of Google Summer of Code 2020, and I would like to thank all of my mentors, Luca, Rob, and Andreas, for actually mentoring me and put a lot of effort into this project. So this project would not be come this far without their help. So thanks. So let me just stop sharing my screen. Let me know if you have any questions regarding that. After that, I can stop sharing my screen.
I got a question. Feel free to move the question to Andreas if you don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, sure.
I understand that could be really, really useful for reviewers that do manual reviewing of extensions. But do you think that this could be integrated into the scanner on AMO in some way to help change the scanner score somehow?
I'm not about sure about the scanner thing on the ammo, so I think this question suits best to Andreas.
Sure. Yeah, I think on a general level, having something like that would be nice. Although this extension is specifically designed to help human reviewers and users and developers to analyze what's going on in the add-on. So we are basically just collecting events that are happening inside the add-on. So, and for some events, we need to add user interaction, or you need to invoke user interaction for the log to actually be filled with data. And I think for automatic detection of certain behavior, that's a slightly different use case, because you need to somehow find a way to trigger all of the extension code. So yeah, we have ideas around that. But we wanted to build this particular extension to especially help humans first.
All right. Great work, by the way, Atik. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Also, Sylvain, the reviewer was one of the users that we thought about when we were putting together user stories for the project. And saving the logs is meant to help the reviewer and also API developer to get a proof of some behaviors that needs to be reviewed more carefully. So it's kind of like storing the data and be able to exchange the data and load it in another computer for another person to review that activity is what currently we think is useful during the review process. But like Andrea said, this is work in progress, so there could be more ideas that we add in the future.
All right, thank you.
Does the extension log web requests that originate from other extensions?
No, not yet, because that is not yet collected as an activity log. There is a node patch that was prototyping that, so that is on the table for when the activity is actually collected and emitted as an event. That is how we plan to do this in the future.
So it's a change that needs to happen in Firefox first.
Yes, there is a
Okay.
bug. Firefox with a patch that needs to be updated is like something that Andrew's one put together when he was working on this API, but that is not much.
Okay.
Okay, just let me stop sharing my screen.
Excellent presentation too, Atik. That was really thorough. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks to you too.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to share a quick update about some of our work that we're trying to get ready for developers who want to develop extensions for Phoenix for when the setting gets enabled on nightly to allow persistent loading of arbitrary extensions. So hopefully this is still going to happen by the end of the month. While I'm very quickly showing this, I would definitely encourage someone to add something about the promoted add-ons program and share some of that with our viewers. But in the meantime, I'm really excited to say that we have a patch on dev that walks developers through how to develop extensions for Firefox and Android. So this is updated with the current information that we have for developing on Phoenix. So this is going to get released on production today. I want to thank Rob and Luca for really going through this with a fine-tooth comb and helping make sure that this is accurate and makes sense. And then we've also archived the information about how to develop extensions for Fennec. We've moved that to a new page on Extension Workshop, also in the mobile category. We're keeping that around for folks who are running unsupported versions of Firefox 68. So this will be retired some point in the future. But I wanted to make sure that developers still had access to some of that content. The other thing I want to say is that Philip landed a patch at MDN to update the APIs that are available for Phoenix. So that's 2 out of the 3 bits of documentation that we wanted to have ready for developers in advance of the setting being enabled. The third one is some tips for optimizing the UX of extensions on Phoenix. So that's going to be based on the information that Bram was providing recommended extension developers when they were going through the process of getting their extensions ready to be enabled on Phoenix. So we're going to try to make that available for our larger developer community as well. So hopefully that'll be ready by sometime next week. And then by the end of the month, we'll have the setting in place and people can enjoy, once again, the experience of developing extensions on Phoenix. And that was my share.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Related to the extension workshop, Caitlin, I was discussing with Sylvain briefly before today about the idea of adding a section about how to deal with storage sink quota.
Oh, yeah.
Could that be something interesting to add as an article?
Yeah. I wonder, is that Firefox specific or would that be helpful on MDN?
Well, it's Firefox specific, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not actually Firefox specific because the quota is enforced on Chrome too, but there may be difference. So I'm not sure if everything that we would suggest is good for both. So the article that I was thinking of, it may be useful maybe to make it simpler to the developers to know how to present that to the user. I didn't discuss the detail with Sylvain. We were just discussing about it, and we thought about asking you if you think that it could be something good to have in the workshop website.
Yeah, we can definitely figure out where to add it, but anything to make lives easier for developers, let's do it.
All right.
We can discuss this in more detail separately. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, I know that we have some badges or some screenshots for promoted add-ons. Would anyone like to demo what those look like?
On the ammo side, you mean?
Yeah. Okay, no one's taking the bait. That's okay.
I can.
Thanks, Jorge.
I think it's Will.
That was Will, yeah.
Oh, that was Will. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I was actually checking if we had something to show. 1 second though. Screen sharing. Can you see AMO with the bubbles for Mozilla test?
Yes.
So that's the dev instance. So I cannot really explain what we are doing with promoted add-ons because I haven't worked on that a lot. All I can say is that we do have a new section about sponsored extension there. And if you click on that link, then you will know more than me, probably. So as part of this this new changes related to promoted add-on and so on, we do have different badges. This one, for instance, is verified. Yeah, we still have the recommended one. And actually, if we go, nope. Oh, well. No, it's all broken. Well, we do have Storybook to show all the possible badges, but it's broken. So I don't think we have other badges right now. No.
That's okay. You're doing great.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what
I'm sorry. I
sorry.
put you on the spot. I made you do a live demo of stuff that happened while you were out of the office. So thank you for doing that, Will. That was very brave. I appreciate it. Yeah, so add-ons that are going to be part of our promoted add-ons pilot, they'll, once they pass manual review, they'll get a special badge that marks them as being verified. So folks will be able to see that. That verified badge will replace the security warning that is just applied to all non-promoted add-ons. So we're still going to have the recommended badge, and then pretty soon we're going to have a special badge that will denote extensions that have been developed by Mozilla. So this is something that folks in the community have been pointing out for the last year, that currently extensions that are line extensions that are not part of the recommended program still display the security warning, even though we review them and hold them to a pretty high standard of security and privacy before we ship them. So this badge will help solve that particular problem. Oh, and Shane can show the badges in Firefox. So Shane, take it away.
So this is just kind of unhiding the badges in the UI. Let me see if I can share my screen. How do I, it's been a while since I've done this. Hopefully it's not sharing something that I don't intend to share. All right, so this is just kind of the add-ons in there, and it shows all the available badges that we display in About Add-ons for each one. So it's got the recommended badge, and it's got this is the line extension badge, which is a little Firefox logo. Is everyone seeing this all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. The recommended badge is the green check mark, and then the private browsing, verified, sorry. Then the private browsing badge is not a part of the recommended badges. That's just a permission badge. But that's kind of, you would only see one or two of them, I guess, depending on what badging is done in the add-on itself. But that's kind of what those icons look like and where they will appear. And this has landed last night in Nightly, so today's build should actually have those.
Yeah, the add-on can only be in one group, so you don't ever see one promoted type of group at the same time. So yeah. I do know a lot about the recommended program, but you asked specifically about the badges, and I didn't work on that at all, so that's why I didn't speak up. So.
Sorry, Andrew. Is there anything else from the promoted engineering that you would like to share?
I don't think so. No, not that I can think of the top of my head. It's all kind of back-end search changes, so nothing really visual.
Got it. To answer, so Sylvain had asked in the doc, have developers expressed any interest since we announced the pilot launch last week? I'm very happy to say that yes, there has been interest in this. So we are starting to reach out to developers who applied to be part of the pilot this week and let them start moving them forward into the review process.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it'll probably still be a couple weeks before those are live on AMO, but yeah, it's moving along. We're really excited about this. Well, very cool. Well, we have 3 minutes left, so I'll just draw a last call for anyone who wants to share anything awesome that they've been working on.
I can quickly demo the new donor stats. Oh, and by the way, I fixed the storybook locally, so here are the badges we can have on AMO. It's not that different than on Firefox, except that you have the label on one side of the icon. So stats, new stats for download stats. This is a fake add-on dev. What's new? The data source. We are going to use telemetry data, and this requires Firefox AT because we introduced a new telemetry event to collect the data, the download data, and attribution. So this is how it looks. Nothing fancy, but we do, because we are using new data, we have new attribution as well. Before, we were only able to have downloads broken down by source, like here. With the new dataset, we'll have 4 different attributions that correspond to UTM parameters. So we have source as before, medium, and then content, and then campaign. It's very interesting that the relay people were using UTM parameters before, because for testing purpose, that's very useful. And yeah, that's all it is. And it will be live on October 8th. And that's it.
And we have a blog post about this change being published in about 5 minutes. So folks who want to learn more, look at the blog in 5 minutes. Okay, very cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Thanks everybody so much for joining us. It's awesome to see so many faces. Take care of yourselves. Get an air purifier if you have to. Get the Koei one. They're really good. And hopefully we'll see you all next month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.